Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to a rather remarkable event here on Rog Edwards TV, a live video. So, if you are actually watching this live today, on the 30th of December 2023, thank you so much for tuning in to this live broadcast. However, what's more likely is I suspect that you'll be watching this later as a replay, but I thank you so much for tuning in to the replay as well. In this live video, I want to give out a few thank yous. I want to answer a few questions that have been posed by watchers of the channel over the last year and give you a little bit of a sneak preview about what will be coming up on Rog Edwards TV over the course of 2024. Here I have a nice ice cold pint of beer to share with you during this live event. Now, it's in a rather fetching Estrella glass, which my good friend at Cafe Renrock in Edinburgh donated to me, but the actual contents of the pint is actually good old-fashioned Scottish Tennent's lager. So cheers, thank you for watching this experimental live video, and let's get into the content. But first of all, let's just savor. Oh, you actually can't beat a good slug of Tennent's beer. So if you're watching this live, and if you're watching this later on, do please fire a comment below. If you fire a comment below during the live broadcast, then I will be able to answer that question live here on air. Obviously, if you put a comment in the comments below during the replay section afterwards, then I'm going to answer that question as well, but obviously won't be answering it in a live environment. And if you have any questions that you want to ask about the channel, about how we put the videos together, about how we edit the videos, where we're going to go, where we've been, where we're going to go, then just let me know. And Mrs. E is downstairs and she will probably chip in as well. So why am I going live today? Well, I have been meaning to do a live video for quite a long time, but I actually do prefer getting out with the camera and actually just filming, recording, and then coming back home and editing. That has always been the way that I've done things. However, as you know, over the last few weeks, we have had some absolutely atrocious weather here in the UK. And if you watched my last video, which was meant to be an epic train trip around the UK, I had actually planned what would have been 8 trains over the course of 2 days, starting in Edinburgh, going to Newcastle, going across to Carlisle, going down from Carlisle to Preston, up to Blackpool, back down to Blackpool, up to Edinburgh via Penrith, and then finishing off with that final little train journey back to Wallingford. And of course, if you watched the video, it sort of unraveled in real time, and pretty much all of the trains, the Avanti trains and the Northern Railways trains, were cancelled. And even though I tried to rearrange everything, I just couldn't get it rearranged. And in the end, I had to abandon that train journey. And unfortunately, that meant that I didn't get down to Blackpool and Lytham St Anne's, which is where my mother lived, and I'd planned to do a video in Blackpool. I'd planned to do a video in Lytham, which is somewhere that's not appeared on the channel so far. There's a fabulous windmill in Lytham, and it's quite quite a lot of history in that particular part of the world. And it's just a real shame that a combination of short staffing, apparently, with the train companies and absolutely atrocious weather meant that I just wasn't able to fulfill that journey. And I've just noticed that Let's Make a Trip is here. And Mark, thank you so much for watching the channel during 2023. Have I got any ferry trips planned? I do want to get onto some more ferries next year and get onto some more buses. So yes, absolutely. Now I do know that some of these ferry companies are a little bit grumpy about people like you and I with vlogging cameras. So hopefully I'll be able to get out there, but I hope that I don't get accosted by people in high-vis jackets. So first things first, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching the channel over the course of 2023. And if you've been watching for longer, of course, thank you as well. We recently passed a fairly major milestone of 6,000 subscribers. It sort of happened when I didn't really notice. And I think Mrs. E said, look, we've gone past 6,000. It was, oh, wow. And I really wanted to mark that event as it happened, but obviously I must have been out and about at the time. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for getting us to that 6,000 subscriber milestone. I guess 10,000 is now within sight, and maybe we'll be lucky enough to pass that milestone during the course of 2024. It really does mean a lot to Mrs. E and I that you support the channel, and I really do appreciate you tuning in week after week and giving us your support, either through the comments or in general if we run into you in a public place. Now, funnily enough, Alan has just joined the stream. Hello, Alan, Alan92. You notice that I've got my glasses on. I'm not very good with close-ups. I don't need to wear glasses when I'm out and about because my long distance vision is absolutely spot on, but close-up, I need to wear my glasses. And I was going to do a specific shout out for Alan anyway, but it's great to have you on the stream, Alan. I'm glad you're here live for this. There are two people who often end up being the first to comment on a new video when I put it out. One of them is Alan. So Alan, thank you so much for your support. It really is appreciated. You're pretty much always one of the first people to comment. The other person is Mr. Steve Marsh. Now, Mr. Steve Marsh has hit a milestone of his own this year. He's recently passed 100,000 subscribers. That is absolutely phenomenal. So Steve, well done. Awesome work, and thank you as well for being one of the first people to add a comment to a video when we put it live on a Saturday. Much appreciated. Now, it's interesting. I actually used to know Steve personally many years ago. I used to teach a fitness class at a place in Edinburgh called Meadowbank Sports Centre, and Steve Marsh was on the admin team in Meadowbank Sports Centre. And just look at what's happened to us since. We've moved on and we're doing different things now, and it's just interesting the way that things turn out for people, isn't it? So look how far we've come. So if you've got any questions, do please put them down below in the comments. I'm going to answer a couple of questions which people have asked over the course of the year. And Anne is the first I'm going to answer. Anne's question was, do you do YouTube full time? Well, the honest answer to that is no, I don't do YouTube full time. I'd probably quite like to do YouTube full time, if truth be told. And I have to say, I have learned so much about filming. I've learned so much about framing shots and angles and construction. And I've learned a lot about video editing as well, particularly during the pandemic. I learned a lot about using programs like Adobe Premiere Pro to edit videos. I've just got seen Reese's Trains here joining the live feed. Thank you, Reese. Good to have you in the house. Thank you for tuning in. And just going back, I do have a day job. I'm a marketing consultant. Oh my God, now that's going to probably turn half the people watching off. This is a marketing guy. This is a marketing guy. I've been a marketing person for pretty much all my career. I also do quite a lot of conference speaking. And I sort of got into doing videos because I just started doing videos about the places that my day job took me to. And before the pandemic, as you would imagine, there was a lot more travel in those days. I was often off to Europe doing talks at conferences. For a long while, I got invited to go to the Balkans quite often. So companies like Serbia, Romania, Montenegro, North Macedonia, some fantastic places to visit. It was really a privilege to get out there. Of course, nowadays, quite a lot of the work that I do is remote because companies have quite rightly worked out that you don't have to pay people's airfares. You can just use a Zoom call. And it makes it a little bit less interesting. But normally, what tends to happen is I make videos about the places that my day job takes me to. And I'm probably not in the position yet where I can actually say, I want to go somewhere specifically to make a video. But who knows? Who knows where things might go in the future in 2024? I do have a few new clients coming up in 2024 down south, which will lead to me having to travel to places that I've not traveled to for quite a few years. So it'll be good to get out there and see those places. So expect vlogs to come from places like Bristol and Bath. And I definitely want to get back to Leeds at some point. I used to go to university in Leeds a very long time ago, and I'd like to get back to Leeds. I've just seen that Edinburgh's Honest Guide has joined the live stream. Michael, how are you doing? I've been watching some of your videos from Tenerife recently. In fact, I did wonder whether you're going to rename your channel Tenerife's Honest Guide, because you seem to be spending a lot of time in Tenerife. And I actually don't blame you, because my goodness, the weather's been absolutely appalling here in Edinburgh, hasn't it? Absolutely appalling. Another question, Dan has asked about the equipment that I use for my videos. And, Reese has just said that he's based in Leeds. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I loved Leeds. I was there for 4 years back in the late 1980s. I stayed out on the Otley Road in the first year at a place called Boddington Hall. I've no idea whether that's still there. And then I spent 3 years in the, what was it called? The Brudenells, I think it was, near the Hyde Park Cinema. A fabulous little cinema in the Hyde Park area. I wonder whether that's still there. That might be worth a vlog on its own. So the question that Dan asked was about the equipment that I use. Now, originally, now you're going to be absolutely blown away by this. Originally, I started off with this absolutely gigantic camera, which is a Lumix. Can you see that? I need to bring it closer or further away. This is a Lumix G85 with that absolutely ridiculously colossal dead cat on top of it for the microphone. That was what I started off with. I don't know. Maybe it was just a thing that you see vloggers out there. You know, the vloggers with millions and millions of subscribers, and they all seem to be carrying these gigantic cameras with huge gimbals around with them. Well, that's what I started off with, the Lumix G85. Have to say the quality of the video is absolutely remarkable. But you can imagine that walking around a town with this thing in your hand, especially with that dead cat thing on the top, you draw attention to yourself. People are looking at you, and you know, vlogging's actually quite hard as it is without drawing attention to yourself. And of course, if you wander into a place like Edinburgh Waverley Station carrying something like this, you are absolutely certain to draw attention to yourself by the people in high-vis jackets. And of course, they will come and they'll start giving you abuse for holding a camera in their station. And I've been in Waverley Station with this camera, and I've been accosted by these people saying, "You are not allowed to take photographs on this station." And of course, that's complete nonsense. Network Rail are actually quite clear that you're more than welcome to take photographs on Waverley Station. And in fact, pretty much every single person, every single one of the 10,000 or 100,000 people that go through Waverley Station every day has a phone in their pocket which can take 4K video and fantastic photographs. So my goodness, what are they going to do? Stop everybody from taking their phones out? No, what they don't like is things like this. So unfortunately, the Lumix has been consigned to history. And for the last 2 years, I've been using a DJI Pocket 2 camera, which is very small, very discreet, and you can almost get away with hiding it. Now, I've recently upgraded to the DJI Pocket 3. This is the DJI Pocket 3. You can see how snug it fits in the hand. And I know that Michael, I know Edinburgh's Honest Guide, has also recently bought this this remarkable camera as well. I know, Michael, that you think it's pretty good as well. Now, the great thing about the DJI is that it has this little gimbal thing on the top, and as you move the camera from side to side, the gimbal stays straight. It has a lot of remarkable built-in stabilization. So you can be walking along with this thing, and because of the gimbal, it sort of smooths everything out. So it really is fantastic. It takes 4K video up to about 60 frames per second. It does have a slow motion feature up to 240 frames per second, I think. It is a remarkable, remarkable camera. Yeah, Michael's there agreeing with me. What the DJI Pocket 3 also has, and this has been an absolute revelation for me, is a low light mode. And the low light mode is just incredible. Now, you might have seen the videos that I put up of the Edinburgh Christmas market at night. I also went on the Royal Botanical Garden light trail, also went out to Gosford House for their Wondrous Woods event. And that was all filmed on this, the DJI Pocket Pocket 3, and that low light mode is absolutely incredible. It really is absolutely incredible. It comes with this really nifty little microphone. So, I mean, just compare the little microphone there with that ridiculous Lumix thing that I had before. I mean, that really is. I mean, that really is like a lion and a kitten, isn't it? It really is like a lion and a kitten. And that microphone, you can just put it on your lapel. There's a really strong magnet that'll keep it in place, or you can use the clip. And the quality is absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. So the reality is, you don't need an absolutely twattingly great big camera to make fabulous video. And in fact, I still do use my iPhone 13 Pro to do a lot of my B-roll. The iPhone's not great in low light, I suppose, but it still does create fabulous video. And the only downside that I can think of for the DJI, and Michael, you'll probably agree with this, is it doesn't do good in wet weather. It's not waterproof, so you don't want to get it wet. I think you'd ruin it if you got it too wet. So you don't want to go near, you don't want to be on a boat with it if there's a lot of wind around. So I do have a GoPro Hero 10 Black, which I use when the weather's wet, and if I'm going, I tend to do the videos I do abroad. Like, we've been to Tenerife a couple of times over the last year. What is it about Tenerife? Everybody goes to Tenerife, don't they? I've done a few videos in Tenerife, and I tend to use the GoPro because you're nearer to water, and the DJI, you've got to look after it. You've got to be kind to the DJI. So, Dan, I hope that was a little bit of a longer answer than I was intending to give on the equipment. So, looking forward to 2024, there will be more traveling. As I said, it will tend to be guided by where I have to travel for work. Bristol and Bath, Leeds I've already mentioned. But one of the things I want to do in 2024 is have a look at some more of those famous railway hotels. I'm going to have a slug of beer here because my voice is getting a bit gravelly. That's really good. So I recently did a video about staying at the Landmark Hotel in London, and quite honestly, the Landmark is one of the best hotels I've probably ever stayed in it. It is just incredible. The facade outside, built in the 1800s, looks incredible. And really just love staying there. I'm very fortunate to speak at a conference that happens every year and has happened every year for 15 years, and it always happens at the Landmark. So I always get put up at the Landmark Hotel, so I'm really grateful for that. But Alex McWhirter, who is a writer for Business Traveller magazine and kindly often comments on my videos, and also we're connected on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called these days. Alex suggested, why don't you do a series of videos about those railway hotels that were built in the 1800s, in the 1890s? And actually, I did a bit of research into that. And do you know what? There are loads of these fabulous hotels all over the UK built in the 1890s nearby to railway stations. So the Landmark Hotel was built next to Marylebone Station. And another great one in London used to be called the Great Eastern Hotel at Liverpool Street Station. I think it's now called the Andaz Hotel. I think I prefer Great Eastern, actually. In Edinburgh, we have the Balmoral Hotel. The Balmoral is one of those famous railway hotels. The Balmoral Hotel, famously, the clock is 3 minutes fast. So as you're walking down Princes Street, you look up, you see the clock on the Balmoral clock tower, and think, oh my God, I'm going to miss my train because it's getting close to the time of departure. So you put a bit of a speed on, you run down the steps, and you find that your train is still plenty of time till departure. Well, that's deliberate. The Balmoral Hotel always has that clock 3 minutes fast to encourage you to get to your train on time. Also in Edinburgh, we have what's now called the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. That is more affectionately known by us people who live in Edinburgh as the Cali, or the Cali Hilton as it was once known, or just the plain Caledonian Hotel. Another remarkable building. I mean, on the outside, you look at it and it is absolutely stunning. So I thought that that would be a nice series of videos to do over the course of 2024, looking at some of those railway hotels. In fact, when I was down in Newcastle last week, I saw the Royal Station Hotel, and again, that looked really, really good. So lots more travel. Yes, Mark, hopefully more ferries, and I'll get out and about and do a few more modes of transport that I've not done. And I love boats. I love getting on boats. But yeah, I think next year we'll try and do that. But what do you think? If you're watching this live, or if you're watching the replay, then let me know in the comments whether you think I should get out and about to different places. Where should we go? What would you like to see? More trains, more planes? Would you like to see more hotel reviews? Oh, Steve Marsh has just joined the conversation. Steve, thank you so much. I gave you a huge shout out earlier in the video and talked about how we met at Meadowbank Sports Centre all those years ago. So do go back and have a look at that. It was basically just saying well done on getting 100,000 subscribers, but I'm not going to go over all of that again. But thank you so much for always being one of the first people to comment on my videos. I've also got Jock from the Glasgow Central. Jock is saying the Glasgow Central Hotel is fascinating. Yes, that is definitely on the list. The Glasgow one looks absolutely superb. So thank you so much. That's probably about it. I've got my beer. Oh, that is so good. And I suppose I'd just like to finish the stream by once again thanking everybody for supporting the channel. Sorry I couldn't get a video out this week from Blackpool. Sorry I couldn't get a video out this week from Lytham St Anne's and its fabulous windmill. But we all know what it's like to vlog when the weather is against you. I also got a really, really nasty cold in the 2 weeks running up to Christmas, which pretty much knocked me flat and affected my voice quite a bit. So thank you all so much. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. really is appreciated. Mrs. E is downstairs. She didn't want to appear on a live video. Maybe we'll get her to pop onto a live video in the future. I thought my cat might have made an appearance. Lottie is our great big fluffy cat. I thought she might have come upstairs to say hello, but she's kept away as well. Maybe she's a little bit camera shy. If you've enjoyed this live video, maybe I'll do another one sometime. It's a new experience for me. I haven't done a live video for so long, but maybe I'll do some more in the future. The last thing that I need to say is just to everybody, have a fantastic new year, fantastic Hogmanay, as we say here in Scotland. And until the next video, I always say this, there's always something to see, so get out there and find it. Cheers, everybody, and here's to 2024.